Hi everyone. We are here today to talk about an exciting opportunity for current college students or recent graduates. And I'm here with Maureen Becker, Chief People Officer at ParetoHealth. So Maureen, what are we talking about today?
So today we're talking about our Start Strong program for college students, as you said, both intern opportunities as well as new grad positions. And you also mentioned that we'd be open to considering candidates who are a few years out of school who might be interested in getting a start in the insurance industry.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about this program.
Yeah. What is it?
Yeah,
right?
What is it?
So Start Strong is an immersive program, approximately 3 months. It starts kind of early June, runs through the end of August, and it's designed to give new grads as well as interns an opportunity to really learn about Pareto, who we are, what we do, the insurance industry and specifically healthcare benefits, and also develop professional skills. We really want to make sure that we provide an opportunity for not just learning, and of course that's part of the program, but also shadowing, immersion, hands-on projects and opportunities so you can really get a great sense of who we are, what we're all about, and be prepared to catapult your career with us.
Okay, so you mentioned a little bit about skills. What sort of skills can people expect to learn in this program?
Yeah, so certainly the skills required for our roles: underwriting, sales, account management, skills connected with understanding healthcare insurance benefits, stop loss, self-funded versus fully insured, but also those skills that really are necessary to build a foundation for your career. So communication, presentation, tools and technology, the things that we know are really essential for any role that an individual will want to pursue with us.
Okay, so this isn't something like where you go to a program and then you learn to do one narrowly prescribed role, right?
That's
It's
right.
something that you can apply to a lot of different things.
Absolutely. And one of the things I love about Pareto is we're really committed to continual learning. You often hear comments like, be a student of the industry. So I think it's important for anyone coming here to know this is not a one and done, 3 months you learn and then you're off to the races without any future support. It's really intended, again, to get you started with us and really set the tone for what the remainder of your career will look like, providing that foundation for ongoing learning and development.
Yeah, okay. So you mentioned a little bit about what we do and the industry that we're in. Now, I get it, a lot of people hear insurance and they imagine a lot of business suits, a lot of ties, a lot of boring meetings. Can you tell me a little bit about the culture that people are going to be entering in this program and kind of how we see our role within the insurance industry?
Yeah, so it's a great question, and we certainly don't think of ourselves as boring, that's for sure. We are really transformative in the industry. We're doing something different, which is really exciting for all of us here. We work really hard to be different, to provide an offering to employers, to work with consultants that is new and kind of we say contrarian, kind of challenging the status quo. So our employees who come here can expect that who we are as a company challenges the status quo. We're not the suits, we're not the that kind of laced up insurance industry that you might think of, as I said, where my dad worked. He worked in insurance, but rather an environment that's really focused on fun and connection and collaboration. And really the genesis of that comes from our core values. That sets the tone for how we show up every day, what we expect of each other and ourselves. And I think that that's something that really makes us unique and sets us apart.
So you mentioned core values. Every company everywhere has a little plaque that they hang on the wall that says our core values are this. How do we do it differently here?
Yeah. So we do have our core values on the wall, but we absolutely do it differently. And I'll tell you, from my own experience, and even just when I learned about Pareto before working here, the core values you hear every day, multiple times a day, in many conversations, starting with our CEO down. We truly live our core values. So you'll often hear, somebody saying, absolutely, I'll help for the greater good. I'm gonna jump in and support you on this project. I'm gonna, kind of keep pushing hard even when times are tough because I have that fire in the belly to get the job done, get it done right. We highlight our employees and our hotshots who really exemplify those core values as part of our ongoing performance evaluation and expectations for your role. So the core values are just really woven into absolutely everything that we do.
Okay, so kind of wrapping this up, or moving towards wrapping this up, let's talk a little bit about how difficult it is. How much do you need to know about insurance before you get here? Is it all work, or can you maybe expect to, have a little bit of free time?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe what benefits you could expect from working here?
Yeah. So no need to know about the insurance industry coming here or about healthcare benefits. Certainly there are programs out there that students go through. That's great and gives you a great foundation in our industry. So that's phenomenal foundation, but not necessary. You do have to have a desire and interest to learn our industry, to work in the areas of underwriting, account management, sales. So come with that, and the rest will teach you. We really provide a curriculum that gives that information and exposure. So no need to study up before starting. Really immerse yourself in the remainder of your college classes, in your education, and be prepared to continue that thirst for learning when you get here. We work hard, no doubt about that, but we have a lot of fun too, and that's something that, I was just talking with a group of our employees who have come through this program, and they highlighted that this has been just a great experience as far as, really kind of getting their hands dirty, jumping right in, but having a lot of fun time with their colleagues, with their peers. That's built into our day. And we offer exceptional benefits. Certainly the standards, health, medical, dental, vision, all of those, 401k contribution from the company. But we also do things like gym reimbursement and company-wide events at different locations, and we'll bring people together for opportunities for connection and also learning and ongoing development. Education reimbursement. So I know that's something that's really big. When you're coming out of college and thinking about continuing to evolve and develop, we do offer an education reimbursement program for those who want to continue to pursue certifications or education related to our field.
Mm-hmm. Okay, awesome. So you and I can sit here and talk about how great this program is until we're blue in the face.
Mm-hmm.
But I think probably the best proof of it is to go and talk to those people who've been through the program and who have been hired full-time afterwards.
Absolutely.
Let's do that.
Let's do it.
Okay, so we've found some of the people who are working at Pareto now who've gone through this program. So what brought you here and what have you gotten out of it?
My journey here, I started at Temple University, and then I found this job through the career fair. And I thought it was different because it was a captive, and most places that I saw other opportunities were more like broker firms, fully insured options. I never really saw the captive, although we slightly learned about it in school. So I found it very interesting to see kind of how this could be different and where I could find my place and learn something new in the insurance industry.
And Devin, coming off that, unlike you, I didn't go to school for insurance, so I had little to no insurance background coming here from TCNJ. I decided on Pareto because the program at the time gave me the opportunity to see what it was like working in a few departments. I wasn't 1,000% sure what I wanted to do, so that exposure piece was huge for me and a few other job offers, but that's what got me here.
That's awesome.
I could agree with that. I did have insurance background, but I didn't initially go into school with the insurance background and the idea of wanting to do insurance. So for me, it was nice because I had some of it, but I didn't have a huge background in it. So I agree with getting more exposure and being able to learn more about it, and doing that throughout the program before I entered into a full-time role was super helpful for me.
And going back to Devin, for example, I come from a family of insurance. So for me, it was actually exciting seeing this new opportunity and this new type of industry per se that I've never learned from before, and that's what made it exciting for me to work here.
Yeah, similarly to Aiden, I had a similar experience. I didn't study insurance at all in college. I studied finance, and I knew I really wanted to work in a business. But through a family friend, I got introduced to Pareto, and my core values really aligned with what Pareto was trying to do here and make a difference in healthcare, and it's been a great start so far.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the best part about the PPD program and Pareto as a whole is just having that experience where you feel good about going to work every day, and you have, you know, your family of peers and friends that you work with, and everybody can lean on one another for a same mission within healthcare, and you know, you're making an impact every day, and every day is dynamic, different, which makes it fun.
One of my favorite things that kept me here following the internship and accepting a full-time offer was kind of like the family dynamic feel of the company. It's a smaller company, so you don't feel like you're just another number. You feel like you're a part of a real team and a real family, and you have real people to support you.
And on top of it, we got all the fun things to do in the office. Like we play ping pong a few times a day. It's like the cornhole boards, and it's like, it's not, well, it's nice. It's important. It keeps me excited to go to work because it's like lunchtime. It's like, all right, I get to decompress. I get to like clear my head. It's like before I go back, start making sales calls. Again, it's like, wow, I had fun with like my buddies and like happy hour afterwards. It's nice to feel like I belong somewhere, especially moving from not in the city to the city. That like built-in friends was a big piece for me.
Aiden, I remember talking to you in the interview process, and you said, I want to work for a company where I drive fast to work.
Yeah.
What do you think? Have we met that
It really
expectation?
does meet the goal, because I'm excited for more than just work, and with every day being different and getting that exposure, it's like I feel like everyone knows my name, and that's really important to me, and there's room to grow, so it's all a boy could dream for.
That's awesome.
And I guess this all has to do with what I was talking about earlier, and it's culture. So culture for me is one of the biggest things of this job, of this company. How important is culture, and how they really consider like the value of culture in the company and for all of us, and has to do with all these things. People being welcoming, having all these different things to do in the office apart from work. Culture for me is a big word when it comes to this job.
I agree. Going off of that, like, we are all in separate teams. Like, there's the underwriting, there's account management, there's sales, but throughout all of that, we all come together and do like lunches or parties or this or that, and or even just playing ping pong with a different team. Like, we're all communicating, and I feel like that's part of our culture, is like staying together is like an overall team inside of our teams, or you'll do a team lunch to stay connected. And I feel like doing all of that shows that like we don't just say like, oh, this is the fun things we do, but we're actually doing it every day, and it's not just like, oh, once a year for a holiday party. It's all the time throughout the company, every day, day to day, and I feel like that's a huge part of who we are, and I love that about here.
Yeah, and also like on the tone of like culture and what I think you're talking about, Ashley, is like inclusion. Like, we're very diverse and inclusive of everybody. I think I can remember like 100 times where people are like, hey, we're going to lunch, did you pack, do you want to come? And sometimes it's people that I've talked to, you know, every day, or sometimes it's people that I haven't seen in a while, but I always feel included in that sense. And also not having an insurance background or having an insurance background, regardless of that, your opinion matters here. And people see you for, you know, who you are and, you know, what you want to do and what you're passionate about. And that respect, I think, is really appreciated.
Yeah.
People always want to hear you, too.
Yeah.
Your voice is always heard.
I was gonna say, building off of that, because I also did not have an insurance background, and I think that we made a really like important effort within the program to talk about how like not everyone has that, but that's okay, and no one makes you feel silly for being like, oh, I don't know what this acronym means or this one, and so it was a really like collaborative, like fun environment where like you never felt silly for like not knowing something, which I think is a really important like part of like the culture. Like, yeah, that's like a big word, but I feel like that's a tangible part. Like, no one makes you feel silly, no one makes you feel dumb for not knowing everything.
I feel like it's encouraged.
Yeah.
Like, be a sponge. Sorry.
Please go ahead. I heard that a lot. And going off the support there, something that I heard over and over again throughout the program when I was feeling overwhelmed without that insurance background was like, there's a reason you're here. you went through the 3 interviews for a reason. You know, it's like we pick the people and we teach them the job. So it's like you get the exposure to the departments, you get the, well, these are my interests, these are my skills, these are the people that I'm going to be working with, and then you're placed somewhere based on, you know, those assets that you already have.
So this all sounds really great, right? I think that we can all agree that it was kind of great, but what have been some of the challenges you faced? Like what have been the difficult parts? Because not everything is going to be ping pong and you know, happy hour after work. There is also the job, but like what's been hard about that?
One of my biggest challenges was probably kind of figuring out where I wanted to be department-wise, where I felt that my personality fits best and where I would succeed the most. I went from considering underwriting to ending up in sales, 2 very opposite ends of the spectrum, but I was able to have the opportunity to explore all those different options throughout the program, talk to different people, and get other people's input based on who they know me as to be and where I would fit best and thrive. And I think I ended up in where I belong. So I'm happy that I was able to kind of explore that over the years.
I agree with that. So, like, going off of what I said before, having some insurance background, but not totally being like involved in it with school, I had no idea where I wanted to be, like within the departments or anything like that. But throughout the program, you were able to shadow within each one or sit down with like a mentor, and doing that, you could see what they did day to day and what your life would actually look like at the end of the program, rather than just like, here, you're learning all of this, here's where you're going, but you had a input on where you were going and what you were doing and what you really enjoyed, and being able to do that helped lead to the right department. And I feel like that was a big part of the program as well, which was nice.
Like a huge push for you.
I think that exposure, although it was helpful, at times it felt a little overwhelming, because in my particular role, it's like I talk to a sales associate every day, I talk to someone in underwriting, I'll like hit up account managers, and it's important that not only that you get good and proficient at your job, you have a general understanding of how all the departments intertwine together, because we really do work as a big team. And like as you start to get the skills to get strong at your position, learning how that then connects with the other departments was a little bit daunting at first, but once you get the hang of it, it's really a great environment to be in.
I agree with that, and like how you said it could be daunting, I feel like there's so many people supporting you, and like you had that support, so it was like you were capable of accomplishing the goal at the end, to learn a little bit about each department but find your perfect place because we had the support. So I feel like it was great to know like we had people behind us even when we were like felt like it was all daunting.
Yeah.
And to add to that, like the whole thing of it being overwhelming, it's always something new is always overwhelming at first, but you kind of have that moment where everything clicks together, and then you're like, wow, like this is really where I belong, and then everything feels like it's all coming together, and that's a great feeling as well.
I don't know if you guys struggled with this, but I feel like I struggled with like the transition of, you know, going from an internship to an associate, and then also going from a college student to a full-time associate. There was a lot of like work-life balance things and a lot of changes going on. And I think one of the things I value most with Pareto is like, although I was having my personal challenges, they wanted to hear those personal challenges. They wanted to work with me. They were willing to support me in any which way that I needed, so that I can be my best self outside of work and inside of work. And I think that's invaluable.
Adding to Toriana, I would say that it's also that transition of being again a college student to a full-time employee. It's also one big thing was learning how to organize myself for the job, which is something in our case, I would say most of us coming in a heavy season portion of the year for the company, and it's like you need to really learn how to organize yourself in order to deal with all the new work you're getting while you're still learning. So it's just learning how to organize yourself in that transition so you can drive through this.
The learning aspect there. I think one of the bigger transitions from college to working professional, where it's like, although I had tasks, you really need to be a self-starter here. Like this company will let you go as far as you're going to take yourself, but you've got to be willing to learn. And understanding that I wasn't going to get spoon-fed, like here's my job for the day, and I do this and this and this, and then I'm done. It's like you need to find like what you need to be doing sometimes, and that was a skill that I had to learn.
And it's a very valuable skill, and it kind of helps you like be your own individual and stand out at the company and really like I guess the word I'm looking for is just progress in your career in general and like kind of find what works for you and who you really are.
I also think Pareto does a great job supporting that. It's like I got offered the ability to go, like after a few years here, go and pursue more education, pursue that GPA certification. It's like Pareto gives you all the tools you need, not just to advance like in the office, but to better yourself as like a professional outside of work.
Yes, both professionally and personally.
Well, cool. So to wrap this up, what's one piece of advice that each of you would give to somebody who might be kind of on the fence about this?
I would say my piece of advice would be kind of just stick true to yourself and what you think, where you think you fit best, but also be willing to challenge yourself and be open-minded.
Yeah, I would say you have a great opportunity to join a growing company. There's a great culture here, and I would say just to be a sponge in what you're learning. Most people don't come from an insurance background, at least from our class, but we've all learned so much over the past 6 months where we feel confident in our work, and that was one of the biggest things for us.
Yeah, I would say that, what you just said about a lot of us don't come from an insurance background, and I feel like it's a broken record, but I think it's, to not let that discourage you from like trying something out, because I feel like for me when I was leaving college, I was like, there's not a one-to-one like job for what I majored in. Like I was an English major, like you have to focus on the skills that you have versus like the really like specific like training or sort of like things you've gotten from college, and focus on like how you can use those skills and build upon them and like learn, because I never thought I would be working in insurance, and now I've learned a lot, and I can see how my skills that I gained as like in a liberal arts education do transfer to this environment that I didn't think ever would. So yeah, I think keeping an open mind and focusing on what you have versus what you don't. I agree, and I believe Aiden touched on this earlier, but my biggest point would be, we always say here that like we pick the people and then we find the place that they fit within the company, and I would say like explore that, like explore all the parts. You were picked for a reason, you're here for a reason, grow off of that and then find where you belong, because there's a reason you're here, so to keep exploring would be the advice.
My contact in was Tommy Lipner. Absolute great guy. If you have the opportunity to talk to him. He's so nice. But I called him one time like freaking out because it's one of my first real job interviews. I was nervous, and he's like, please, like, don't do anything you're not. Just be yourself, and you'll find where you belong, like you were saying. But it's like if you put yourself out there, the company and the people around you will see what you're good at, what'll make you happy. You'll be the happiest at work. You'll be, the best prepared for your job if you're just honest and you're yourself the whole time.
Kind of adding to that, I think the best piece of advice I would say to somebody who's kind of in the fence of joining our culture here is talk to one of us, somebody maybe in your age range, or somebody who has a mutual school that you went to, or just somebody who likes something on our LinkedIn post. But any one of us will tell you really how it is and be honest with you, and I think having that sincerity and genuineness from people within the company is it's real. It's not a honeymoon phase as an intern. Like, you really enjoy your job, like you have a lot of fun, you have a lot of opportunity, you make great friends, and it's a good time. I definitely recommend it.
I would say just considering the level of the opportunity, considering its growing industry per se, even if it's captive industry, and also because Pareto is #1 in the so it's just an opportunity any way you see it. And as Lorena said, one thing I would always suggest is reaching out to any of us, literally anyone in the company. I'm sure it would all be welcoming always, because again, that's part of the culture here at Pareto, and that will be my best advice.
All right, well, thank you all very much for sitting down with us and talking through the program. Do we have anything else to wrap up?
That's a wrap. Thank you all.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.